Yes, thank you, Ed. And I'm thoroughly looking forward to tonight. As you said there, it's not something we see very often, not in the real world anyway, a bit more on Wreckfest. But yeah, I'm expecting some carnage, especially in like intersection or crossover point in the middle.
Yeah, what was the green cross code? Look both ways, make sure nothing is coming. But that rule doesn't really apply here, does it? But yeah, we've slightly less numbers for this evening. Obviously, some people are busy or whatever. But yeah, I think we've 12 fairly worthy opponents ready for this one, including the current leader of the Cage Series, 811 Kieran McIver. He's brought himself a big Dodge Monaco. Should be pretty good around the 8. A few of the other regulars as well. We've cannon fodder himself, Mr. Matt Josie. He's chosen one of the Pontiac GTOs. Pretty good card to go too. Mr. Sodas from Reality. Jetro, Owen Hunt, 528. He's brought a 73 Jaguar XJ6. Some of the newer cars as well. Doing a bit of Fast and Furious, I think it is. Somebody had a Mark IV Super earlier on, but I think he might change minds. It's Tiddy Dave, David Hands. Anyone else in there, Jordan, you fancy, or what do you think?
I think Brent Shaw Viking is also worth a mention.
He is Mr. Afro.
Mr. Afro indeed, yeah. Still hasn't got a haircut despite the hairdressers being open for a couple of weeks now, but we love him anyway. Yeah, he's going into battle with a Mercedes E-Class tonight. So, yeah, he'll certainly be interesting to see how he does. He's obviously won the Caged Virtual Open, and we have a debutant tonight in a 98 Drew Wilson from Northern Bangers, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of shenanigans he gets up with 29 Matt Josie doing it alone for Team Cage tonight.
That's the main man, Marshall Keno. He's actually run the show for us in the background. Special mention to Crispy Chris Smith. He's given out. He says, I've left a nice pub garden for this. Well, to be fair, it's probably a little bit warmer in here than it was in the pub garden with less cool refreshment. But I mean, let's see what effect alcohol has on Wreckfest. What do you think?
Well, in answer to that, first of all, we don't condone drinking and driving, but in the world of Wreckfest, we think it's okay.
I think so too. Just about ready to go here, Jordan, and the figure 8. You ready?
Yep. Green flag, and here we go for the first time tonight.
Marcelino's in for a bit of pounding already. I think he's going to step out now and slow down. Camera car, nice little pile up there in the West Bend already. Camera just pounding around there. Kieran McIver in an early lead. Usually got behind him. Nice little pile up already formed on the East Bend and the West Bend of Hednesford. Panning around a bit here, we'll go to the crossover. Let's see what we got. The pack a little bit tight at the moment. Jack Bunyan, unfortunately, stopped with a Pip Gay. Kieran McIver in an early lead. Crispy Chris Smith right behind him. Look at that. Then behind that, Drew Wilson. Behind him, Matt Josie. Here we go on the crossover now. I think I'll take it. Oh, we get nearly. We'll get there soon, don't worry. There's Jack Bunyan joining back in there. See what happens. Here we come now, coming across the middle. Oh, it's getting tight now. It'll happen sooner or later. Jordan, who's your money on first?
Well, Drew
Wilson clipping a top. Dippy gets him.
He's gone over the crossover point.
Sorry, that was Dippy got the first hit in the crossover. Kudos to him, or is that bad luck? We don't know.
I think that's what we were saying in the introduction. You've got to have your luck on your side tonight with like crossover point, and I think that was Drew Wilson. They're just going through the middle of two cars. Did really well there, but the luck's been on McIver's side tonight. As he was saying that, he goes head on into 160 Viking there.
He goes head on into the ramp as well. So has he kept the lead? I don't think he has. He's down to third place now, by the looks of things. Oh, Drew Wilson on his roof, smashed up against the winner's podium. I didn't see who got caught there in the ramp. That was a pretty hard shot. Jack Bunyan in there straight into the side of Jetro, but Drew Wilson's going again. Tis the miracle of virtual bars. Here we go. No. Straight across again. They seem to be plastering themselves up against the wall as well as the crossover. I don't know. I think missing two of these meetings has had me full of enthusiasm for this one. But we'll see what happens next. Oh, Jetro nearly got them. The Viking is Dippy going across. Matt Josie, Crispy's going through. No, he's missed again. They seem to be going very sedate at the moment, of course. Commentator's course. Oh, a proper shot there in the 8. That was Jetro again. Kieran McIver smashed into it. Crispy Chris Smith clips himself off the edge of the ramp. See who's in the lead now. Kieran McIver still in the lead. He's taking the lead back. Second place, just waiting for it to come up on the screen there. Looks like that's Matt Josie in second place. How did he manage that? No idea. Jordan.
Yeah, well, I think Kieran's showing his speed out in front here. He went down to third position, but he's fought back up. He even got tagged there on the last lap and still managed to maintain the lead of the race. And he's just coming through well, he's on his final lap now. And it looks like he will take a fairly comfortable win. And this, if he can get over the crossover point, yeah, and he flicks that Jeffro Jr. there. And I think he will come through and take the race win eventually. And obviously, it'll be a good start to the opening heat race of the night for him. As we said in our introduction, is the current series leader and will be the man looking to claim that silver roof tonight. Whether he does or not will be another question.
He's on to his last lap now.
I think that's important that he's got Dippy just in behind him, and he's got a couple of back markers in between him and Darmo in second position there. Obviously, Luke Garnston back with us tonight. It is Motorhead Kieran McIver who takes the race win. He's been absolutely dominant here on Wreckfest in this Cage World Series, and I think that's going to carry on tonight from what we've just seen in that one as Viking puts himself in there as he tries to spin out Gandalf. That's Ben Aves there from Totally Trashed.
Yeah, this is probably the only circuit in Banger Race where you can actually cut the corner as opposed to riding up on the shale. Oh, look at that jet plowed into. I think that was Dippy there in Northern Barnes has been smashed around the place in his Merc. I mean, yeah, as we said with this, it always seems to be the case with this race. It's all a little bit quiet, a little bit unassuming. Yeah, whatever. And all of a sudden, bang! It'll just light up. So then we had a couple of proper heavy hits there on the crossover. That's what we came to see here, really. Counting the laps down.
I think that's the thing about the figure of 8. You don't need the action on the corners. Obviously, it should be mentioned that we have banned turning around tonight because we do want them crashes and collisions on the crossover point more so than on the bends. And I think that's what we got there in the first heat race of the night. Drew Wilson doing a massive bubble roll there. Kieran McIver getting caught up in the action. Jeffro Jr. and Viking as well towards the end. Yeah, it was a good start to the night, and we've got 3 more heats to come before a 20-lap final, 2 all-comers races, and then a DD to finish, which I believe will just be run on the oval.
I think so too, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the format there. Usual 4 heats up to the final. I think the final is just going to be going green this time rather than following up a grid, but I think most of the guys aren't really interested. But interested in winning this one. But this used to be one of the more worthy titles in Banger Racing. This you need a bit of luck on your side to win this one rather than just a fast car. But I noticed as well during that first heat, no one was actually really backing out of the 8. A few people were hitting the brakes in practice all right, but everyone was just ploughing straight through. And a few of the more kind of what would be the words you use? Stereotypical hits on the 8. In other words, hit the back of the car just to spin him out rather than plough into him in a big massive T-bone. I suppose like Kieran McIver got caught out nicely doing. I think it was Jethro that got him. But I think Jethro, one of the few people who's actually raced on the 8 in reality, he was pretty handy with it back in the day. Kieran McIver's pretty handy in the present day, the wheel of a full-size Banger, never mind a virtual one. And we're getting ready to go again, Jordan. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, I'm ready. It should be another good race. And as you said, I think just going back onto Kieran McIver's pirouette there, once he retook the race lead, he did really well to hold it. And he managed to redraw him without losing too much time as well, was able to maintain the race lead. So, yeah, fair play to Kieran because that was an exceptional drive in that one.
Certainly was. No, I think I had to get all the enthusiasm out of myself there. So I think I tripped over you once or twice there, Jordan. I do apologise. But I'm sure I've missed the last 2, so I need to plough back into it, literally.
I was going to say, it's your first time back in a month. So, a Royal White the rustiness.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully now this will lead me to being a full-size Banger commentator as well. Nothing to do with the colour of what's left of my hair now, Jordan. Yeah, who knows? I certainly put an offer in with DMC race promotions anyway, say they want me to commentate in Bangers. At least I get a bit excited rather than the I won't do my impression of the DMC race commentators on here. I'm sure they're probably listening. Evening, gents. But so we're getting ready to go very soon. One car we didn't see much of in the first heat. Be like who?
No, I was going to say, I think you'll be like the Irish Michael Coventry.
Probably, yeah. Come back, MC. We miss you. But yeah, Heat 2. Here we go.
Let's see if Kieran McCarthy can make it 2 from 2. Dippy's starting on the front row with Garmo. Them two will be tough to beat. And it is Garmo who has taken the race lead. In this one, he gets shoved out wide there by John Brickner and Dippy.
Who got him there? I think
John. Yeah, I think it was Bricknell that just lent Dippy into like infield tire mark 11 there. Ed, you know what you were saying about cutting the corners on this track? I think that's proven that it is a little bit harder than maybe you first thought. Monumental hit there on the tyre.
Closed into Dippy there. Sorry, Jordan. We're getting more active now on the crossover. We have a mini pile up in the middle. Looks like Silly Dave and his super stuff there along with Bam Dave Spooner. Here we got the lead. It's still Garmo. We'll see what happens. He's kind of on his own at the moment, but of course there's a little bit of extra traffic, a little bit of a T-junction to encounter in this one. Kieran McIver in second place. Looks like Jetro in third place. Let's see what happens here. We're going to the pits for a second. Yeah, a bit more lively in this one already, Jordan.
Yeah, definitely. I think I thought Josie was going to get Garmo there, and it looks like he just avoided it, but it looks like this action going in there opposite us. But Garmo managed to come through unscathed as Jeffro Jr. again getting caught up there. It isn't Jeffro Jr., I think that's Jack Bunyan, sorry, there. And then Motorhead goes into him there, Kieran McIver. Garmo spins out John Brickner when he's big yank, and that's cost him valuable seconds.
It has, because Kieran McIver is now right behind him with Jetro not too far behind. There they go, past our camera position. So Kieran McIver is going to try and lean into the west bend. He does. He's up the inside of him now. They're more or less neck and neck from across the lead. Kieran McIver now taking the lead. Got Brent Shaw right in front of him. Or Matt Josie trying to make a brave attempt there to take Kieran McIver out, but he misses. He's up the inside now in the eastbound. Here they come around to get up. That was Tilly Dave. Got smashed out by Crispy on the crossover. The lead battle passing through there. Across the middle again. That's Drew Wilson. He's shoving in. Is that Jack Bunyan he's been caught up in this? He has. Matt Josie coming across the centre. Oh, that was very close there. He nearly got him. But in the lead now, it's Garmo again, but Kieran McIver is right beside him at Jetro on third. Full of Matt Josie in fourth. So there's a bit of a gap here between third and fourth at least. The eastbound's getting busy again. It's John Brickland and shoved into the wall. Dave Barnes Spooner, he's just getting back into us. Okay, we'll let him out. John Brickland smashed on the crossover again and again. He's spinning around circle, Jordan. He's just getting a bit dizzy in there.
Yeah, I think he is, and has done Garmo a massive favours. That's meant that Motorhead's dropped a lot of time to him, and I think now Jeffro Jr. is in second position, and he is still a few car lengths back. So Garmo's looking good if he can avoid the crossover point twice more. He comes through and just avoids Matt Josie as he goes in on Drew Wilson.
Drew
his
Wilson's
final lap now.
I think Drew Wilson thinks he's racing a touring car, the amount of curves that he's clipping, but he's flicking himself up on two wheels, which isn't really a good idea around this track in particular. John Brickland.
No, people actually call Drew Wilson the Jason Plato of Wreckfest. Whether or not how true that is, we'll never know. But Garmo comes through and takes the second heat race of the night. Jeffro Jr. in second, Motorhead in third.
Looking at the window here in the background, we've a late arrival. Stephen Chalmers just pulling into the pits, so we'll have him out for the next heat in 183. Yeah, another interesting crossover heat, if you want to call it that, Jordan.
Yeah, that was an interesting heat race. Obviously, it was interesting to note that Motorhead's Kieran McIver didn't have it all his own way there. It goes to show you that Garmo will prove to be tough competition as Dippy tries to finish the race in reverse, but just gets T-boned there by Crispy Chris Smith.
It actually is Garmo.
That was a really interesting race.
It was. It actually is Garmo Senior driving tonight, despite what some people might say. But yeah, no, that was good. The crossover obviously proving of use again. We had a few proper hits. I think if Drew Wilson tries to slow down a bit and not be as enthusiastic, he'll actually get around those corners instead of launching himself off the curbs. But yeah, that's a win apiece now for Kieran McIver and Lee Garmston. Two of the more quick guys, and obviously Kieran throwing the big yank around ahead of the more nimble Granada. But obviously, you wouldn't want to be on the end of the yank if you're in your Granada rather than the other way around. But yeah, any early predictions down for the third heat? We're going to have more of the same.
I think the third heat race, after our first two races of the night, I think the three main protagonists tonight are going to be Jeffro Jr., Motorhead, as he always is, and Luke Garmston as well. So, yeah, I think those three, it'll be interesting to keep note of how them three get on in this third heat race of the night, and who knows, maybe one of them will take the final as well.
Well, I mean, it's banger racing, unpredictability is part of the excitement, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And we've said that so many times during this virtual World Series that the unpredictability of not only banger racing in real life, but on Wreckfest is what makes the sport so addictive and so fun going to. I know that me and James did an interview with D-boy Liam Horner last night, and he was saying about that's one of the reasons why he just loves going racing and he loves marshalling as well, just the unpredictability of it all. That interview should be up online next week, hopefully. Obviously, we've got to edit that, so stay tuned for that one.
Indeed. Okay. Keenan's at the back in it here this time. Let's get him out of the way as they're going around into the west bend now. So Kieran McIver again in the lead, or is that Garmo ahead of him? Looks like Jack Bunyan in the lead at the moment. Kieran McIver right beside him. Oh, it's Gandalf! And Garmo leads him into the corner. He's fit right there. And Jack Bunyan there looks like shoveling Garmston into the wall. Obviously, they don't want to see him winning every time. We're going to crossover again. And Dave Spooner coming across. They plowed in it by Titty Dave. Ouch!
David getting a bit hands-on there.
Yeah, it looks like Gandalf has been ploughed by Jack Bunyan. Good to see Jack back. He be the man, as I call him. He's always the dark horse. He's the last guy you want to turn your back on this game. So you're back to our normal camera position. Ooh, he's looking for more. Oh,
yeah,
there we go. Drew Wilson's done it again. Plato. Yeah, Gandalf's on his roof there. Looks like Lee Garmston helped him into it. Looks like at this stage now the three main protagonists actually dishing out with each other. I'm just waiting for the lap chart to update there now. We'll see who's going to lead. It looks like it's Matt Josie in the lead, so that won't last long, will it, guys? Come on, guys. Take care of him first. We paid you 50p each before the start.
I expect Matt will get caught up in the action somewhere along the line. But no, that's going back on your point about Jack Bunyan. Lindsay gets spins out by Titty Dave there. This is the first meeting back for Jack tonight as well in a couple of weeks, so it's good to see Jack back, and I'm sure we'll be looking to exact some revenge there. As I don't know where Dippy's going. I think Dippy was going for Hitler there on Matt Josie. I don't know what Marshall Keno would have thought of that one. I'm sure he's keeping a keen eye on things. Excuse the pun.
Oh, Matt Josie going the wrong way there. Ball back. Oh, proper smash on the crossover there. That was Garmo, Titty Dave, Drew Wilson and Kieran McIver. Kieran McIver now takes the lead. Jethro in second. Garmo third. Dippy in fourth. Fair play to Dippy. All this actually is getting caught up in. Look at that. Jack Bunyan there and Bam getting caught up on the middle. Jethro's moving across. John Brickman's just stuck on the middle by the looks of things. There goes Kieran McIver there. Matt Josie right behind him. Oh, there. Like Jack Bunyan tried getting Matt Josie there in the crossover. He missed. Plowed into the ramp. Oh, that's Justin Wilson. He's going to be dizzy after that one. Drew Wilson, rather. What was that? Gandalf got him. He must have spun at least 6 times there. I think the physics when it comes to spinning in this game on the 8 are a bit different.
As it's caged versus Northern Bangers, with Jack Bunyan also getting involved there with Josie exacting his revenge on Dippy very well there. Dippy's on his rear bumper and he's going to follow him in there. Jack Bunyan also goes in on Dippy. Garmo goes in on Bunyan. What a shot there. Absolutely great stuff as bam, Dave Spooner come in, and so does Motorhead. I don't think either of those two fancied the hit there.
I think Garmo's going to regret that though, because Motorhead's after grabbing the lead off him. Or is that Dippy who's in the front? No, there's Garmo's back in the lead again. There's a fairly tight battle going on here. Ooh, so was that Jethro? I think cut across the middle. I think he gets slapped on the wrist for that one, unfortunately. You're told not to do this. Yeah, it looks like the Jack Bunyan actually, unfortunately, he's been given a slap on the wrist. One more now and he's gone. Unfortunately, we don't do that, Jack. We love you. Oh, Josie across the middle trying to get Dippy. He's missed. done himself more damage. But again,
And
Kieran in the
Wilson
lead.
also getting caught up in that as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of a debate going on in the drivers' comments at the moment. Kieran McIver there smashed through Wilson now, but Tom Bricknell there is nearly clobbered Titty Dave on the 8. That's how you do it, nice little flick around. And the Viking there, Brent Shaw, stuck on the middle again. There's Garmo cutting across. Drew Wilson as well. They're calling the middle there now. What's left of Jack Bunyan's car by the looks of things. Who we got in the lead at the moment is still Kieran McIver. I think it's second place is Jethro. We'll see what else we got though.
Oh, Matt, can I just say it doesn't matter who did it first. The fact of the matter is you did it back.
Indeed.
Exactly that.
Yeah. We were told, they were warned, so, you know, it's not a case for making the rules up as we go along. Obviously, there's the extra element of contact in this race, so we'll see how we get on. But the Heat 3 winner is Kieran McIver.
Yeah, so just to clarify after that, 2 for 4 Jack Bunyan, 29 Matt Josie and 400 Dippy Danny Potts were all awarded a black cross for that one for going on Oppo. But as they all hitting each other, we'll see how that develops through the night. But yeah, great race from Motorhead, Kieran McIver, as we should probably expect from there.
Oh, very much so. And the fact he's using it with a steering wheel as well. He's not using the joypad or the keyboard. Yeah, hopefully a few slap wrists on that one. Won't be doing it again, or you'll be sent to bed early with no supper. Did it still do that to kids these days, or is that would that cause offence? What do you think?
I don't think it's for me to say, but you've said it now, so if anyone does take offence to it, then you know, I'm sure they've already took offence to it.
Yeah. I'll look at this. Matt Josie trying to play the diplomat here. I've gotten out and shaking Dippy's hand. It's a virtual handshake, Mark. You're not allowed to shake hands at the moment. The steward of the meeting says no oppo, save it for the DD, please. Looks like Liam. We're just holding on for a few minutes now. We've one extra car about to come in. Sure who it is. Giving the crowd, Dippy saying he's giving the crowds what they wanted. Ooh, yeah, a fairly big virtual crowd this evening. So yeah. Shout out if you want to see Dippy getting plastered in the next one, preferably by Matt Josie. But that's not really going to happen, is it? Saying, what is this?
I mean, let's be honest. We all like seeing Josie getting absolutely caged.
Yeah, of course. That's why he called caged. He didn't call it bashed around a bit, but got it out for the next race. And it's usually what it's called caged. But Drew Wilson saying the crowds love it. Drew, I'm sure the crowds really love seeing you clipping the curbs and get launched up on 2 wheels like James Bond. Come on. What crows? Crows like bread. Yeah, true. Yeah, obviously the Fever are walloping the keyboards at. You could swear this was Oval Chat they're hitting the keyboards that hard rather than the control pads. Yeah, we're just waiting for one more car to come in now.
I thought you'd be used to that by now, Ed.
What's that?
I thought you'd be used to, you know, all arguments that happen on Wreckfest sometimes. You know, you can take the driver away from racing, but you'll never take the racing away from the driver. They'll still find an excuse or find a reason as to why they did something on track, but it's all good fun. And it does add some laughter for me, actually, as well, seeing these comments pop up and stuff. Yeah.
Just about ready to go here.
We're getting ready for Heat 4 now, Lone.
Yeah. Jack and Junior says, I love you, Dippy. All good fun. Not as much as we love watching Drew Wilson launch himself off the curbs. That seems to be more fun. He obviously thinks he's playing what's the British Touring Cars version of Wreckfest? Oh yeah, Wreckfest. Expensive Wreckfest, that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say expensive Wreckfest, Toka Wreckfest, whatever you want to call it, really. Not naming any names, obviously, because I want my dream job to be with something to do with the British Touring Cars, because I love the sport and respect all the drivers in it. But there's certainly been some controversial moments in the past.
Yeah, I think what we should have done was got Matt Neal and Jason Plato on, like Statler and Waldorf in the Muppet Show. You know, the 2 old men giving out the whole time. So that's all they really are. They're the British Touring Cars. But yeah, I think Drew Wilson's also been forgotten that he's online and live. So our steward of the meeting is dishing out a little bit of wisdom at the moment. I think Marshall Keenan, he's a bit like Yoda, you know, he's dishing out the very valuable information. Everyone should really listen to because it's important. But I'm not going to do my Yoda impression because you'll probably just collapse in fits of laughter. I will. There you go. There's...
No, I think now that you've said that, I think you should. Now that you've said about your Yoda impression, I think you should start off heat number 4 by giving us your Yoda impression, Ed.
Very different. They are around 8 of figure. Here's Raceway, Hednesford. Anyway, Jack Bunyan is in the front now with Kieran McIver. They're going across the middle. Do we need traffic yet? No, we don't. There's a little gap there. Proper coming together in the crossover. They're coming around again. There's Jack Bunyan, Kieran McIver across the middle. Ooh, that was tight. There's a pilot forming on the west bend. No, he's managed to get around there. Thought they would. And Jack Bunyan now. Jack's back, as they say. He's looking for revenge in this one. Oh, plows into Brent Shaw. I'm sure Brent will be seeing stars after that one. That was a proper hard hit on the middle. Is Dippy in the middle there and he gets blasted by his teammate. Was that Teddy Davis smashed him there in the Mark IV Supra? It was. So Northern Bangers on Northern Bangers. That's not what we wanted to see, really, is it? But yeah, looks like Matt Jones has been plastered again. He's trying to get leaning into Brent Shaw. It's not working. Ah, Teddy Dave again smashes Kieran McIver out. Actually, tell a lie, that's not Teddy Dave in the Mark IV Supra. I think that is. I'm not sure actually. I think that's Stephen Chandler actually. Apologies, 183 in the blue and white Mark IV Supra. There's Dippy on Matt Jones. He's over. Nice one, Dippy. That's what we want to see. We like getting Matt get plastered in this one, getting cased on the crossover again. Looks like Jack Bunyan got caught up there. Jordan, this bit a bit more exciting than this one.
Yeah, that was a great spin and roll by Dippy there on Matt Josie. You know, it was also really good to see here's John Bricknell and Drew Wilson get caught up there. I think it was Jeffro Jr. and Gandalf getting caught up on the crossover point a lap or two ago as well. So yeah, you do get caught up quite quickly here as Drew Wilson again gets caught up. I think he's done more laps spinning out than he actually has done properly tonight, but that's alright. We really like a try here in the caged virtual World Series, and that is exactly what Drew Wilson is.
It's the dead or alive award. You spin me.
Jack Bunyan goes for a spin there.
Yeah. Oh, who's that on its roof? Gandalf.
Very good.
On the East Bend.
Oh, it's John Rick. No, that's Drew Wilson though. I think he went in on Titty Dave over there. Massive airtime shot there. Absolutely brutal. I don't know if that was a following in or a jack up, but that got some great airtime there. Hopefully Matt Bull or whoever's on the middle this afternoon got some good photos of that one.
What do you think? She missed that one completely. Oh, look, Garmo there, he's going through very quickly in the middle of all that excitement. Yeah, Garmo indeed. Surprise, Kieran McIver in second place. Not going as quickly there as he was earlier on. I was just probably waiting for Garmo to trip up. Crispy Chris Smith in third place, obviously powered by Bear. Is that Drew Wilson again? Pummeled on the middle. It is. There's the gap there now, but half of that. So our camera car is being wrecked, unfortunately. I love these guys, an awful lot of enthusiasm for this one. Let's see what we got here. Stephen Chandler in the Mark IV Super. Matt Josie. Where's Matt going? Come on, Matt, you were told not to be bold in this one. Garmo there. He timed that crossing nicely there. No one actually coming his way. Oh, look at that. Oh, we got him. Stephen Chandler ploughed Dippy out. And there's John Brickland on top of him coming into the East Bend there. There's Garmo going across the centre. That car's going very quick for some reason. And Garmo wins this one again. So that's 2 heat wins out of 3 at the moment. So that was 4 heats, wasn't it? So yeah, two at the moment. Yeah. Kieran McIver gets second, Crispy in third, Jethro in 4th position. Jordan, we're singing out them. Same again, really, isn't it? They're really getting into their stride now.
Yeah, same again. But what a hit that was by Wilson on Titty Dave over there on the exit of what is turn number 2, the normal banger way round. Absolutely awesome airtime shot. And yeah, probably hit of the night so far. And I'd maybe even potentially say hit of the entire series so far. That was absolutely brutal. But yeah, good racing out in front, and Garmo takes his 2nd race win of the night.
Looks like for the Guff corner, Matt Josie giving out again. Come on, Matt, you got the bigger car, use it. Use the force of the Pontiac GTO. No, we're not turning this into a Star Wars cult show now. Really, seriously, no, it's not going to happen. But yeah, confirmation there. First base Garmo, second base
I've got to
McIver.
admit,
Grant, floor's yours.
your I was going to say your Gandalf impression was absolutely superb. Or your Yoda impression was superb at the start of that one.
Yeah,
Very good.
Well, it's not going to stay, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not going to be doing it every time. No, I'm not going to be like the Tills in Pound Stretch or whatever. You can put them into Yoda mode before all this.
Yoda mode. No, quite rightly. I think we enjoy it more when you do it out of the blue like clap. No, as moving back on to racing again, it was really good. Some great racing out in front. Motorhead and Garmo having a great battle tonight. I think that's 2 wins apiece from both, isn't it, Ed?
I think it is, yeah. And I mean, fair enough, you'd expect the Granada to be quicker in Hednesford. I mean, it's a big, probably 2 tons of Detroit iron, the Dodge Monaco. And Kieran's driving that extremely. Fair enough, that seems to be one of his trademark cars in the series. He would use that an awful lot, but he's doing extremely well with it. So yeah, they're coming up to the final. I think the Gulf Corner's getting busy at the moment. Might go back to the pub, he says. Okay, yeah. There's definitely going to be a pillow fight after this one. I think between Gandalf and Jack and Junior. I don't know who'd win that pillow fight. What do you think?
Well, I think both of them wear glasses. Both of them take pictures as well, so they might be trying to do the thing that all men struggle to do and multitask, having a pillow fight and taking some action photos at the same time. So I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I think just a slight delay for a second, so for Jack Bunyan to come back in, I think. But yeah, this will be the 20-lap final. It'll just be from the grid positions. Obviously, the guys who want to win will try and win. Let's see. And just be a straight in rolling start into the final. But yeah, 20 laps final. 20 laps, well, 40 times you need to cross the crossover. Any early predictions, Jordan? I think it's just going to be the same again. There's probably only about 4 drivers who would seriously want to win this.
I was going to say, I think looking at the what we've seen so far tonight, and obviously depending on whereabouts they start, I don't think you can look past Luke Garmston and Kieran McIver. I think they've been on exceptional form yet again tonight, and yeah, hopefully we might see someone else take a race win. But yeah, those 2 guys are seriously quick on breakfast, so I expect them to be up there or thereabouts in this final.
Yeah. Okay, finals on there. Our camera card's getting out of the way. We'll switch back to the main view. Let's see what we got. A little bit of contact already. Oh, Drew Wilson's in the lead. Wow. Something wrong there, guys. Okay, our camera's pan around again. There's John Bricknell and Drew Wilson squabbling for the early lead of this final. We'll come back in on the crossover now. John Bricknell takes an early lead, but there's Garmo in 3rd place, Dippy in 4th, Crispy Live in 5th. There's Kieran McIver there in 6th place, along with Stephen Challenger in front of him, the Mark IV Supra. Cameron's just getting into position now. Yep, there we go. And Garmo takes an early lead there now. John Bricknell behind him. But John's not really one who wants to win this race, but he's more than happy to take Garmo out of it. So let's see what he does. He's actually ahead now. Oh, nice little spin there by... That's Garmo flicking John Bricknell, and Jim Wilson picks him up as he runs him off the wall on the west bend. Kieran McIver sneaks in now to take the lead. But looks like Garmo might dodge that bullet pretty well. Even though there you go, Drew Wilson across the curbs again. Stephen Challenger behind him, the very quick Mark IV Super behind him. Then it's Brent Shaw, the Viking. There's a nice little race going on here for change in the final. Go across the middle. Oh, bam, gets caught up there with Kieran McIver. Drew Wilson in behind him. Yeah, looks like Garmo's trying to get away with this one, but he's a bit he's dodged he hit the brakes there now. We don't like to see that now. Try and swing around it rather than hit the brakes. Hitting the brakes, the weak man's way out of this one. He's still in the lead at the moment. There's Bam plows into side Dave Wilson. Garmo across the middle. He timed that right. John Brick nearly got him there. But Stephen Challenger coming up behind Garmo now. Oh, Josie on his roof there. I don't know who flicked him there. I think that was Drew Wilson. Caught him on the middle. He's back. Did you see that? That was pretty heavy.
It was it was Drew Wilson that caught him on the middle. It was a mental shot. It was over the rear left wheel of Mr. Josie, and yeah, flipped his big Pontiac GTO over on its roof. And I think he did a few barrel rolls, but he's still going in this one, and he's in 10th position, right behind his natural frenemy in 400, Danny Dippy Potts. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between those two as Jeffro Jr. takes the lead.
Yeah, I was going to say our camera did a speed work TV there, unfortunately moved away at a crucial moment, but he's only done it once, so we'll let him away with it this time. But yeah, it looks like Jethro's taking an early lead. I wouldn't say quite an early lead, he's about 1/3 way in. He's playing across the middle there. Stephen Challenger in second place in the Supra. Behind that I think is Kerr McIver. Let's see what happens there now. Field spread out a little bit. There's Jethro. Oh, nice. Using now the Vic, and there's the cushion as he passes his way through. I'm not sure he was in 3rd place actually. We're just waiting for the lap charts to update a bit. There's, oh my god, Drew Wilson going straight line. Crispy has just ploughed the Viking on the middle. Then Bam and then Dippy behind him with Tiddy Dave there. Let's see who else we got. It's spreading out a little bit here. There's Jethro who's holding. Okay, he's in the lead. Let him away with that. There's Garmo coming up behind him. Kerr McIver right behind him. And there's Matt Josie there. What's Matt Josie doing in 4th place? You okay, Matt? But yeah, Garmo back into the lead there. Jethro right behind him. Kerr McIver 3rd place. Then Drew Wilson somehow in 4th. All that curb hopping's obviously proving a little bit faster this time, I think. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes, Jordan. Do you think can Garmo hold on? Is Jethro right beside him there? There's a little scrap for the lead going on to the west bend. We'll see if they come around onto the crossover now. Who is in the lead? Stephen Challenger in front there. There's Garmo. Well, Jethro's getting caught up there. I think that's the Viking he's getting tripped up on. Jordan.
Oh. Yeah, I think Garmo's showing some really good pace, and he's doing the most important thing in figure of 8 bang racing, and that is avoiding the crossover section. Obviously, you still got to go through it, but he's avoiding any oncoming traffic, and he's getting the luck as well. We see that massive gap there opened up between 2 cars, and he's done half of the race, and he's got half of it to go. And he's got a few car lengths lead. Obviously, Motorhead, Kieran McIver, hasn't had all the luck in this one so far, and he's in 2nd position. So it's going to be an intriguing last few laps, I reckon.
I think so too. Garmo's keeping his nose clean. Jethro as well is behind him. Kieran McIver in 2nd place. There he goes. Nice. There's just a lucky cross there. He didn't have to brake around, just flat out. But let's see if he comes around again. No, Drew Wilson spin again, hits the curb. Come on, Drew. You'd learn for the 17th time what to do. And a bit of traffic there in the crossover. There's Dippy there. He's about to. He's trying to be crispy. Trying to lean him into the winner's ramp there, but he missed. Garmo's still in the lead. Kerr McIver there, 2nd place. See what the gap is there now. There he goes there. I'd say about half a lap if you include the crossover. Crispy getting plastered there by Matt Josie on the crossover. Stephen Challenger there nearly gets caught up there in the winning ramp. There's Dippy coming in behind him. There's Matt Josie on his own. Nearly got hit by Garmo there. Would you think Garmo will throw the lead away to do Matt Josie, you think, Jordan?
I hope he does, but no, I don't think he will. But if he does, fair play to him. It is something we would like to see. Where is Mr. Josie? Is he retired or is he? I don't know. I'm struggling to see him. But Dippy's up to 4th for now, and Drew Wilson in 5th as well. So good result there for the Northern Bangers pair.
Yeah, I think so.
If they can keep it that way and maybe improve.
Yeah. See how we do. We have a pile up front. No, it's not. It's a shadow, as we say. It's Joe Dippy's right behind Garmo.
It's a shadow pile up.
It's a shadow pile up now. It's just the way the pixels are moving around a bit. It looked like there was somebody there, but there wasn't. Jethro went for a broke there and he missed him for us. It was a proper hit. He almost got on Garmo to take him out, but he ended up going into the winner's ramp there. Who's that car? Is that,
yeah, I would say
I think that's Garmo.
That's Ben Aves.
Yeah.
He's Rover P5 there that's retired as Stephen Chandler goes for a roll there, but he carries on fine.
He missed. Okay. Well, look at that now. Kerr McIver's right behind Garmo now, so it's all or nothing to play for now, but 3 laps to go. Dippy being a little bit clever there, trying to get him on the centre, he missed. But there's the gap there now. Kerr McIver's caught right up with him. Nice bit of traffic ahead there now for Garmo's to come around by our camera position. Oh, Dippy's right behind him. Dippy's probably going to try and wipe Garmo off the east bend wall. He's just done that. Kerr McIver going up the inside. Let's see now when the camera pans around who's got him. Oh, and he's taking it. Kermit Garver takes the lead. Looks like Dippy got caught up there. And he's finally got plastered by Jethro in third place. Now, if Jethro keeps the hammer down, he might get second out of this one. But now Kermit Garver takes the lead for the last few laps. But I'm not quite over yet in this one. Garmo in second there. Looks like Dippy has done his job. Well done, Dippy. Plows into teammate Tiddy Dave there. And Crispy trying to get him is straight into the winner's ramp. Yeah, Motorhead now in the lead. Garmo second place. Jethro third. Just waiting for the graphics update. I think that's is that Drew Wilson in fourth place somehow.
Yes, I think it is, and I think Motorhead has won. I think, well, I know the thing certainly popped up to say that he'd won the race, so that's yet another final win for Kieran McIver, and I think that could see him more than definitely clinch the silver roof for being the points champion. Now we have 2 all-comers races to go.
Yeah. So Dippy's been a little bit naughty again, unfortunately. Now he did take second place out of it, so more guff going on in the steward's room after this one. The camera never lies, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll just the laps counting down here. We'll see who we have. Yeah, confirmation there. Finally, the winner of the figure race final, Kieran McIver. Second place, Garmo. Third place, excellent drive there by Jethro. Fourth place, Drew Wilson. How did that happen? Bouncing all over the place, spinning all over the place. He's probably dizzy. He was actually driving so well. But yeah, there's obviously a bit of arguing going on in the stewards room now, Jordan. Has that tainted the win at all, or was it a good win?
No, I think that's a really good win for Kieran. Yet another really good win, yet another very, very good drive. And yeah, he's certainly been the class of the field tonight, along with someone who has kept him honest throughout the evening in at number 11, Luke Armston. Luke was quite unlucky there in that one, but yeah, we'll see what happens in these 2 all-comers races.
And all bets are off now for this one, so pretty much open season for the old all-comers race. We'll see if anyone else is interested in setting up to the plate, or is Kieran McIver, Kieran McIver, Luke Armston, and Drew Wilson full enough in the run for this one. I think Jethro's going to try and get a win in this one. What do you reckon?
Yeah, Drew and Dippy were running very well in that one before they both got caught up in the action. I don't know where Drew finished eventually, but yeah, who knows if it's really if they have the luck on their side, they could be on for a race winning these 2 all-comers. And for the DD, well, Kieran McIver's proved to be a bit of a DD master class in previous weeks, so in that 75 Monaco, he could be a good bet again tonight.
See how he does. Just getting ready now for all comers 1. See who we get for this one. Yeah, still a bit of guff going on here, guys. Obviously the temptation to go the wrong way is quite strong in this one, but no, we deliberately put in the figure of 8 for a reason to kind of make them actually work for their wins. People are doing well. Obviously, a few people aren't figuring it out, but yeah, all comers 1, Jordan. Here we go.
Yeah, our third to last race of the night. Back to 10 laps now, so another fairly short race, despite the longer lap time. But it looks like it is 1-3. Stephen Chandler leading the way in this one on early doors.
He is indeed in the Mark IV Super. The camera's going to come around now. Who's that in second place? I think he's got a nice little lead there, actually. Out of his own. Oh, John Brickell's behind him. Oh. I actually like this camera angle. It's pretty good, actually. You get a better view of the crossover and who's coming. He's holding back. Oh, he gets caught up there. Who's that he got clipped by? He's thrown the lead away there. Drew Wilson got caught up in. There's a few too many totally trash colour cars in this race for my liking. But yeah, Stephen Chandler caught up completely. And Dippy's in the lead. Let's see if Dippy can actually win a race. He's not bad at winning when he wants to. Yeah, he's got Brent Shaw in front of him. But in the case of who's going on the crossover, Matt Josie! Yes, Matt, finally a bit of retribution on your behalf. Tiddy Dave there plowing into the back of Dippy. Thought them lads were teammates. Come on, guys. Yeah, it looks like Matt Josie gets a bit of glory back for Caged, along with a last. Tilly Dave there bounces off Kieran McIver like a rubber ball there, the big Monaco. No match to the Granada. But yeah, Stephen Chandler going across the middle. Who's back in the lead there? It's Kieran McIver actually in the lead. He probably picked it up there. Nice jack and train forward there on the outside of the crossover heading into the east bend. Going across the middle again. There's Garmo. Where is he now? He's in 4th place. That's the lowest position he's been in all night. See him picking it up there. Oh, Dippy got hit by Jethro in the Viking. Matt Josie in again. It was John Bricknell, I think he did there. Then bam again on the Viking. Then two seem to be rekindling their bromance. Although little Steve-O's missing tonight. Garmer across the middle. John Bricknell he gets spun again on the middle. Stephen Chandler ploughing into the winner's ramp. Going across the middle again. Jethro goes through. Dippy getting spun again. The entrance to the crossover. Who's that that swung a bit right there? Is that Drew Wilson? Oh, Tilly Dave getting spun by Jethro across the centre. A nice little move there by. That's Crispy Chris Smith actually. Do apologise, I wasn't seeing that. So yeah, camera pans around a bit to the west bend. And moving back again. Kieran McIver still in lead. Garmo 2nd place. Did be in 3rd there. Stephen Challenger in 4th. Tilly Dave in 5th, even though he got a massive hit there at the start. He got going again. There they are across the centre. But yeah, laps one down to Jordan. Kieran McIver on a bit of a roll here, but we don't know, do we?
I know Kieran's done very well against that and he's on a roll. I think he's been on a roll since round 1 really. Pretty much dominated at Stan Lake, pretty much dominated at Wimbledon. At Ringwood I don't think he had one of his best nights, and certainly at St Day for the last proper round he also didn't have a very good night, but no, on the whole he's been pretty much dominant throughout the whole series and he looks to be carrying on that trend here tonight. Taking another win in this first all-comers race.
Yep, it looks like it. Camera position pan around again, looking at the west bend there in a bit of here a bit of metal on metal there. And John Bricknell's
I think was waiting up for someone. Drew Wilson. I was into him there. I think that was actually hit his side on the rear of John Bricknell's 85 Chevy wagon or Chevy Caprice wagon, and yeah, rolled over as Motorhead takes the checkered flag.
Yeah, nice little win there by Kieran McIver again. John Bricknell reversed across the middle. Who's he waiting on? We'll see.
I thought Garmo obliges with a hit there.
Yeah.
He's getting caught up in the action. So too is Titty Dave as he ends up on the winner's ramp. Over there on the far side, of 162 Viking, Brent Shaw also getting caught up.
He should be going for a swing there and he misses. Oh, Jethro trying to get John Bricknell there. Very wide shot, but he's missed there. Jethro copped it there from Dippy. Yeah, great confirmation then of the race results. 1st place, Kieran McIver, Motorhead. 2nd place, Garmo. 3rd place, very fine drive there, Stephen Chandler in the Mark IV Supra. 5th place, Dippy, Danny Potts. 6th place, Bam. 5th place for Bam. Good stuff, Bam. Dave Spooner in 5th, and Datsun. I think that's been his best result in a long time. Not even this round, previous rounds. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, Bam, great driving that one in there. Well, now, since he's come into the series, Bam's been very good, always presents a very nicely painted car. He's always willing to help out other people as well, and I think he's been a great asset to the series as he's always involved in some sort of carnage. Whether it be from his own doing or from someone else's doing, but he takes it on the chin and he takes it really well as well.
Yeah, some serious guff going on there now in between. But yeah, we're just getting ready for the second all-comers. Now, this is traditionally the race that a cage driver shall win, so Matt Josie, we're counting on you to try and win this one. If you can't, come back caged. But just very quickly, coming on to the next round in the series. We're not sure yet. We'll be announcing it very shortly. Unfortunately, fortunately, with real racing coming back into circulation now, an awful lot of our real drivers will be busy getting their full-size cars ready rather than the virtual ones. But we'll have an announcement on that one very soon. We're just waiting for a second. So Marcelino, the real world is interfering with Marcelino. There's somebody at the door. I'm not going to start that chant. No way. Just not doing it. There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. There you go. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's the end of my career, starting chants in the commentary box. Yeah, still a lot of guff going on here now. There's a bit of argy-bargy between the Northern Bangers boys, but looks at things. I will behave. I can prove that now, says Titty Dave. If you say so, Dave. Again, another asset to the series, being in the thick of it the whole time. But it looks like getting ready to go for All Comers 2. Any predictions for this one, Jordan?
I think Kieran could be on for another race win. But saying that, if Garmo can get a bit of luck and avoid some carnage, avoid the cars on the crossover point, he could give him another good battle and run for his money. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. But here we go now. All Comers race 2. Second last chance to settle a few scores this evening till the DD. Go any way you want in the DD. But for now, we're back on the 8. It's All Comers race 2. Kieran McIver there is on pole position for this one. Where's Garmo? Oh, we're getting smashed again. Our camera car, unfortunately. He's going to pull up there by the start line. Into brakes. Thank you very much, James Keane, and for everything you've done for the server and that this evening. Looks like at the moment it's Stephen Chandler again in the lead in the Mark IV Supra. Sliding around the place, still kicking off behind him though. It's Kieran McIver in second place. Just traditional spectators view of Hednesford Raceway would normally see these days. Oh, McIver's been taken over again. Titty Dave getting smashed there by John Brickle and Drew Wilson. There's Jethro taking the 6th place. At the moment looks like Stephen Chandler in the lead. He's got through the middle. Dave Spooner in second place. I think Bam might want a trophy in this one. Yeah, we're looking at the 8 there now. There's Stephen Chandler. Oh, caught by John Bricknell there. Dave Spooner into the lead. Who's that in second place? Is that Garmo? It is. So it looks like Garmo's trying to get it back for this one, but he's Bam in front of him. Bam pushing Tippy. Oh, we've lost Tippy. No, he's just lost the position there now as Garmo takes the lead. Let's see there now. We're waiting for more traffic to come through. Drew Wilson there, fairly flying along. There's that Brent Shaw getting caught up there. Who that caught him there? I think it was Garmo got caught up with him there. And Crispy Chris Smith into the lead. And then Stephen Chandler in second place in Super. Garmo in the third. Bam fourth now. Jethro fifth. Matt Josie in 6th place. Only 5 positions to make. Matt, you'll win this one for us, boy. Here we go now. Crossing the middle there. Jethro and Bam. Drew Wilson there going across the centre. A little bit of light traffic, but that won't last for long. Kieran McIver. A nice move there going through the middle, dodging all the bullets, as they say. So Brent Shaw's caught on the middle. Oh, he moves off. Goes quiet again in the centre for a brief second. There's Garmo going through. Stephen Charlie gets pulled out by Kieran McIver. That's a solid shot. He caught him proper right there. There's Matt Josie there going after Kieran McIver. What position is Matt in now? He's back to 7th. Garmo still in the lead with Crispy right behind him. Battle of the Grannies there now. That sounded wrong, Jordan. They shouldn't really say things like that online. Battle of the Grannies. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. You passed Watershed. We'll have to wait and see on the verdicts of our maybe younger audience on that one.
Oh, pile up there, coming up to the middle.
Getting caught up with Dippy. Gandalf involved. Motorhead powers his way through. I think he hit Bam there quite a lot. As what's Matt Josie doing? Mattitude himself. He's waiting there, but Gandalf obliges. Drew Wilson comes in with a mental shot. Totally trashed the Northern Bangers have certainly gained up on the lone caged member there. Titty Dave giving him a bit of backup there though. Stan Lake regular in real life. And then Potts Benno was back on his roof. Back on his wheel, sorry, he was on his roof. It's all kicking off in this one.
Yep, well we've another very committed member of the series in the lead at the moment. We won't say, because I actually want this guy to do well, so I'm not going to say anything. This is my well-known commentator's course. Dippy there gets caught up with Garmo. Oh, Drew Wilson being very bold now. Oh no, that's Gandalf and Josie. Come on, guys. Looks like the web battle's gone from it's gone to totally trash versus cage, and it used to be North Bangers versus cage. I think Dippy, Dippy's just enjoying himself really this time.
Yeah. I think they'll use the excuse that they're trying to get him back on his wheels, which is fair enough. But that was certainly a stonking hit there from Gandalf with Dippy going in as well, and John Bricknell even piling in after as well. And I think Matt is now back on all four wheels. As Crispy Chris Smith takes, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, an excellent win. Yeah, very good drive and a surprising win to some extent as well, considering how good Motorhead Kieran McCarver's been doing as Viking goes in on Luke Garmston there. But no, Crispy's again been a very good asset to the Cage Virtual World Series, and maybe them few beers in the beer garden haven't necessarily done him as big as an impact to his driving ability as we maybe first thought.
He was complaining earlier on that he came out of the beer garden for this, so yeah, he makes up with a win. An excellent win. I think that might be his first. I think that's only his first or second win the whole series for Crispy. Excellent win. Not easy to win on this track, and with the caliber of drivers that we have in numbers of towns. So Tippy plows into Matt-Josie there at the end. I think the stewards' room at this one now after this one's going to be a little bit interesting. But I mean, all's fair in love and banger racing. But the final event for the evening is the Demolition Derby. The old phrase, we're just about to change the track there now. Should be on the figure of 8 track. We'll just have to make sure we change that. See if he does. Says the lad that lent me into a wall.
We're not going to change the figure of 8 apparently, so it will be a figure of 8 DD.
Oh, hang on. Mark Shoes is for Matt-Josie by the looks of things.
You've got to give it to Matt. He always has a racing driver excuse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we grilled him on this the last time on our Caged podcast, of course, which you can listen into. Caged podcast proudly sponsored by Cecil's Renter Rookie and UK Action Cars. But yeah, we asked him about had he read the big book of racing driver excuses, and he said no. So I think he's is he having a huff, or is his computer having a huff? What do you think?
No, I think in all honesty, I think his computer's having a huff, so hopefully he'll be back in a minute. He's just got to put the laptop or the computer on the hive and pull it out and maybe give it some water. Maybe it's overheating a little bit, and I'm sure we'll be back out for one last bash tonight.
Or a bit like its owner, just give them Blanky, Teddy, and Dodie, and just there you go, Matt. Put your thumb in your mouth. Give it a really good suck there now. It's okay, Matt. All right, it's all right. We're not really the support group here that we should be, are we, Jordan?
No, we do take the mick out of Matt sometimes, but we do like him. No, Matt's a good guy. It's just all good fun, isn't it, to take the mick a little bit.
Well, of course, now time for the DD. All bets are off. You can go any way you like, gentlemen. John Bricknell saying early is Kieran McCarver going to win this DD? He may. Josie's coming back. We're waiting for him. He's had his tantrum time. Can I change cars, says Dippy? No, Dippy, you're not allowed to race that Chrysler Imperial or the Miller Meteor. You're not allowed. I'll give him some time. Should be fun. No, Dippy's... Looks like Dippy's right. Reading the big book of racing driver excuses as well. He wants to change car. What did they say about workmen and tools?
Yeah, I think that's the first rule of being a racing driver is you've got to have some racing driver excuses, and we've certainly heard a few tonight and over the course of these 7 meetings we've run now, 8 if you include the team meeting we did a fortnight ago.
But,
in response to the question asked by Dippy, Marshall Keno has said to him no, because you've been hitting pretty much everyone in sight tonight really well in his Mercedes saloon. So Marshall Keno has had his say, and it looks like Matt has got the computer running again, so that's good to see.
But is the driver running the driver of the car, that is, rather than the computer driver? We get to find out. Figure of 8 DD, last car moving. Now, Oppo is allowed on this one, so let's see if Gandalf and Jack and Junior literally rip the gloves off each other in this one. Let's see which car is going to be better for a proper hit, the P5 or the Pontiac. And any early predictions? Now, not who's going to win. Who's basically going to go for them? Who's going to end up going for each other quite hard is what I really want to know.
Well, judging by what we've seen tonight, I think Mr. Matt Josie, I don't think he'll last very long. I think he'll have some good hits being put in on him by Drew Wilson, Ben Ames, and 400 Danny Dippy Potts. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, in that GTO could be very impressive and could last long.
Okay, our camera car pulls off. Gets smashed. Camera all over. Camera McIver. There's Gandalf going the wrong way already. He's looking for Matt Josie. Camera McIver putting the boot in, literally using reverse. Or was it the trunk? Oh, Gandalf are all over him now. Looks like Garmo's the target. Initially, there's Matt Josie. Stephen Chandler going the wrong way there. But that's alright, you're allowed to do it in the DD. Go anywhere. Like all the virtual walls have been turned off. There's pretty much open season. There's Jetro waiting. Obviously, we don't want any sandbagging in this DD either. That's it. And that's James Keene's car. See, there's Matt Josie's car still going. Who's he looking for? Oh, he gets caught up there. There's Jetro plows into Jack and Jr. Can't see who that is though. Caught behind Matt up against the wall. It would be Gandalf. Who else? How did we not guess that one?
That's Gandalf, Ben Aves. He goes in on Josie as well there. In McIver where he's going. Got Stephen Chandler there. Our normal cameraman.
Wilson smashed
a very welcome but late addition to the programme tonight. Here we go, the little piling in. Bam goes in. Dave goes in. Who's going to come out of this one relatively unscathed? Gandalf comes. Who's he going to go for? He goes head on into Chandler. Jeffro Jr. goes through. Bam goes through. Garmo goes through. There goes Jack and Jr. He's looking for Dippy. Gandalf's hot on his towel though. I play to Matt. He's took some stick tonight, but he's gonna try and have the last laugh. See more of action going in down there.
Still chasing him. Tell you what, Ben, go the other way. You'll catch him going in the opposite direction. Proper hard hits there in the east bend. Kieran McIver's stuck in there. Camera's just moving around a bit there now. We'll get going again. There's Kieran McIver going across the middle. There's Jetro going up right behind him. John Bricknell there going the wrong way, but that's okay. You're allowed to on this one. Gandalf plows on top of him. This is they're all over Matt Josie's the target for this one as well. See who's left. Jack and Jr.
So
Dippy.
far, the only retirements are. Yeah, Dippy goes in on Jack and Jr. there, but Garmo and Viking have out of this so far. There's Titty Dave goes in on Bam. John Bricknell goes in on Jeffro Jr. Stephen Challenger comes through again. Bam's now out of it, so he's retired.
Dippy's still going on this one. Matt Josie's still going. We'll find out.
I think we're getting down into the final 10 of this one. Our final weight even, as I think that's Jack and Jr. out of the running. As Motorhead goes in on Jeffro Jr. Oh! Stephen goes in on number 2, John Bricknell there. Motorhead is still running low, so too is Bricknell. I think he was aiming for Dippy, but he Stephen Challenger there as Gandalf also goes in on him.
Of course, Gandalf is still going after him at the punishment he gave Matt Josie in that one. Kieran McIver still going, pretty handy DD man him.
You can't beat an old. I was going to say you can't beat an old British classic, and that's exactly what Gandalf Ben Aves has tonight.
Yeah.
Black Rover P5. And it looks like we're down to the final 3. Motorhead, Drew Wilson and Gandalf. Drew Wilson goes in. Massive shot there.
We're down to the final 3 by the looks of things. Gandalf, Kieran McIver, Drew Wilson. Nice head on there coming out of the west bend. Has that killed off Gandalf's car? It may have. Yeah, there's a lot of steam and smoke coming out the front there now. Kieran McIver is... Looks like we've red and checkered in this one.
Yep, it is 811 Motorhead. Kieran McIver takes yet another DD win. He's been on top form tonight in that 1975 Monaco, and he celebrates by launching his car off the ramp Now he's going to do a few laps on the oval now just to celebrate. Is he going to pile into? He goes in on Drew Wilson there. It's now got critical damage, so probably only one or two more hits left in that car.
Yeah.
I think that is it.
Yeah, a very short and sweet DD there, but the winner, again, seems to be good at the old DDs, Kieran McIver. Who was left run? I think Drew Wilson has been awarded second place in the DD. Third place would be Gandalf Ben Aves, who, despite having more or less a big red flag or a red marker painted on his back for everybody to go to, managed to dodge all the bullets, including from Mr. Matt Jones himself. So yeah, Kieran McIver, his final quotes, he said, "Enjoyed the 8, good job, the Merc didn't work." Yeah, he does like the Merc 600, but unfortunately in the Wreckfest game, it just seems to be a little bit glitchy, so it doesn't always run. But yeah, very well under Kieran McIver again. Looks like for right now at the moment he leads the caged virtual series points, so he'll be allowed to run the virtual silver roof at some stage. Yeah, that's there. Lester Dorver's loading up. But let's see if we can get anyone in to discuss the last few minutes there. See if Matt Josie himself is in a position to join us in the commentary box. Is he? We'll find out in a minute. We'll try and get Marshall Keno in as well, who was the steward of the meeting, to give a kind of the formal school teacher's view of that rather than the thing. No, actually, he won't be in this evening. But thank you very much to James Keane. Did all the work in the background. Actually, he more or less had to give up racing there now to bring this event to us. But you've any thoughts on that one, Jordan? Bit different on the 8.
Yeah, it certainly was a bit different. But I think we've seen the trend continue. Great performance by 811 Kieran McIver. Some really good racing from number 11 Luke Garmston, and it was quite interesting to note that 244 Jack Bunyan, he's a very, very quick driver on this game, as is 162 Viking Brenshaw. Necessarily didn't have it their own way tonight, and I think despite their early promise, are now out the race for the points title. But you got to give it to Motorhead. He's been absolutely incredible throughout the whole series.
Hello guys, can you hear me?
Good evening, Marshall Keno, Stuart Keno.
It wasn't easy today, was it, with cars flying around in massive directions. Matt had a target on him, I think, from Totally Trashed and Northern Bangers. As I saw him taking quite a few, had to give a few warnings out here and there. I mean, on the whole, it was really entertaining. Hopefully, everyone at home thought so too.
I think so. That was a very entertaining race. Ben Aves said all he has to say about that one is when's the next one. But any particular highlights on that one, James, or you're just too busy looking at everything?
Well, I could tell you got the low light. I was the stressful bit, the stream freezing for the first 7 laps of the final, so I had to quickly get that sorted out. But luckily got there. Hopefully, people should have been able to see the end of the race. It's one of these things, isn't it? I mean, even the professionals have the problem. Anyone watching Speedway TV last weekend would have seen that the National Hot Rod Heat 2 they had a similar problem. So at least it don't feel too bad.
That's the main thing. As obviously it's something that we don't see anymore in full-size banger racing, unfortunately, the figure of 8. So it's nice to turn back the clock a little bit.
I mean, it is good to see. I mean, obviously we have it at Aldershot occasionally, because obviously with the way Aldershot is, you can take the middle barriers out, and with Aldershot being sort of a tight track, it doesn't have the same problem. Hednesford, of course, is such a fast track that the figure of 8 can be a bit dangerous. So you don't see it as often as perhaps used to, but it's in the game world. I think that's a great track, because we had quite a few dropouts tonight. Unfortunately, that's because with racing starting, it's harder for everyone. I mean, the majority of our drivers race pretty consistently, so it is difficult now racing has started to have the numbers we've seen before. But I think even with, maximum of 15 cars, you saw how much action there was, because there's no escaping it when you're going across the middle.
We didn't actually have that many people lifting. Like a few guys swerved, which is kind of the more preferred way of dodging on the 8. A few people hit the brakes.
Yeah, but I saw a few people swerving and then crashing onto the safety barrier that protects the floodlights in the middle. So that was quite fun to see.
It was, and then Drew Wilson, obviously thinking he was racing British touring cars, riding the curves all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. I think, yeah, definitely very entertaining. As I think you mentioned earlier, our series is coming to an end. It was a summer series to fill the gap of real racing with commentators, and I think it's definitely one of the most entertaining. In a way, it's probably better. It probably benefited from not having too many cars. I mean, you would have seen more carnage, but probably not as many sort of near misses, fast hits in the middle. That's always the joy of the figure eight, isn't it? It's the it's good. It's enjoyable.
That's the main thing. Jordan, you got very excited at one stage. Any final thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think I did get quite excited tonight. Probably more when Drew Wilson put in Titty Dave in one of the earlier heat races. Over on turn number 3, as it is on the figure of 8 track. Absolutely monster hit there. And I think both cars actually managed to continue in the race. Can't remember if they retired later on or not. But no, overall, I think it's been a really good night. I know that even in the virtual world, the figure of 8 is a bit Marmite. Some drivers didn't fancy it tonight, and others, unfortunately, had to pull out quite late due to work and other commitments, which is completely understandable given that we have things slowly resuming back to normality. So that was the reason for the smaller grid tonight. But as you and James just quite rightly said, the action tonight was just as good. And hopefully people have enjoyed this virtual series over the last few weeks in the absence of, real life racing. Obviously we have racing back now. We had Ipswich last Saturday. We've got Kings Lynn tomorrow night, and then Kings Lynn 375 and Ipswich Gold Rush next Saturday as well. So yeah, I think the plan is to maybe do one more round and then do a world final to finish it off. But we'll keep you posted on that. We'll ask the drivers, see what they want to do, and we'll see what times we're all free as well, as the officials and the organisers. But no, just a massive thank you to everyone that's supported us through this venture. It's been a new thing that we've tried, and I think we're all very, very glad to see a massive thank you to the drivers and, Gary Baker and Stephen Chander, and obviously you, James, for the camera work, and obviously Ed as well for co-commentating. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the next few weeks regarding another round or possibly the world final.
Cage Virtual Super Bowl final. But yeah, again, another excellent meeting. Thanks for those who tuned in on our Facebook stream, and don't forget to keep the comments coming, the shout outs. And we had a few of our German, Dutch and Belgian friends watching this evening, so thank you all for tuning in, guys, and watching. But another Friday night successful meeting. I leaves me to say thank you very much indeed to Jordan Hollins and James Keane for helping out, and Matt Josie, of course. He's I'm sure he's a little bit stiff after all the attention he got on that one, but no, we love you, Matt, really do. We'll see a bit more attitude at the next one. But any final thoughts on Jordan, or shall we just say good evening?
No more final thoughts from me. Again, just a massive thank you to all the drivers and everyone that's helped out in the series, and last of all, not least the fans. I know that, again, as pubs are open and racing's back on, we have seen the numbers dwindle slightly, but for those of you that have still watched and even caught up at a later date, it is hugely and greatly appreciated by not only me, but the entire team.
Very much so. So yeah, let's say a massive thank you again, Jordan Hollins and James Keane. Thanks again to Matt Josie. Thanks to all the drivers for joining in, making a memorable meeting once more. But that's been round 7 of the Cage Virtual Series, Hednesford Figure of 8. I've been Ed Fahey. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.